Belgium's next opponent will be Spain on Friday, Jules. They beat Portugal 1-0 thanks to a late Mikel Merino goal set up by the genius, otherwise known as Fabian Ruiz. They're second in the world. They're the reigning European champions. Yet I feel like they're flying a little under the radar, Jules.
Yeah, I think there will be Belgium, of course, and then set up a semi-final with France and Morocco, which will be a special game, whoever they face in that semi-final in Dallas next week. I think they're going from strength to strength. And again, this was a decent test for them, and it's Ferran Torres with the assist, but Fabian Ruiz is involved as well in the build-up with Rodri, and 3 subs who combine for the goal. Only Spain can score a goal like that in how they move that ball and the movement that they have off the ball as well. It's another one for super sub Mikel Merino if you want, or super sub number 9 Mikel Merino. It's incredible, and when you think that Lamine would get better, that this team still is yet to concede a goal. And again, you can look at the opposition and said they haven't really played anybody that strong really before Portugal, and that Portugal threatened them, which they did. I think it's very impressive.
They've only scored 9 goals, the critics will say. But I look back at this and I say, yeah, they've only scored 9 goals because of bad finishing. I mean, Ferran Torres feels like he hits the woodwork every single game. I know that's not the case. I think finishing, as you know my thought on this, I think there's variance involved. So I worry when teams don't create chances. Spain create a lot of chances. Our colleague, Mark Ogden, finds them boring and defensive. I'm going to hazard a guess that you don't agree with that.
Nah, but we're not watching the same games, clearly. You must watch another World Cup.
But Yamal is an interesting factor because this feels very different from the Spain side that won the Euros when you had Yamal and Nico Williams bombing forward. This does seem like certainly more possession-oriented. But that's okay. That almost makes you better equipped, I think, if you face France or even Morocco, yeah?
Yeah, I think so too.
Switzerland advance as well, and they get to play Argentina next, Jules. It went all the way to penalties against Colombia.
Yeah, no, a great game, certainly in terms of chances, although I kind of like the tempo and the rhythm of it. 2 teams very similar level with a lot of physicality, with a lot of strong midfield players. Monzambi missing for Switzerland as the X factor. I think was a big blow for them, and the way they played with the ball. And in the end, it was down to a penalty shootout. We saw Manuel Akanji missing for the 2nd penalty shootout in a row in big tournament after the one at the Euros against England 2 years ago. But this time it didn't matter so much, not like 2 years ago, because they still won and Gregor Kobel made some really good saves. So I'm really, really interested in that Switzerland-Spain game in the Switzerland-Argentina game, sorry, in the quarterfinals.
I felt bad for Colombia. I thought they were the better team. I thought they created... I don't say they created the better chances. They certainly created more chances. I think I'm right in saying that from about minute 60 onwards, so essentially for the last hour, if you count extra time, Switzerland had 1 shot on goal. I think Colombia should have put them away, deserved to put them away. Look, in the end, you got to make your penalties, and so Switzerland are deserving. But I think this World Cup has lost something without Colombia.
France play Morocco on Thursday. Gab, how worried should I be for my boys?
Jules, you're going to worry regardless. You were worried against Paraguay. Of course you're worried. It's a knockout. I'm going to try to give you my take as a neutral here. I think I would have been more worried if it was Morocco 4 years ago than this Morocco side. This Morocco side is a better footballing side than they were 4 years ago. But they're going to be without a key element, I think, in Ismail Saibari, of course. And because they're more of a footballing side under Wabi than they were under Walid Regraoui, they're not going to be able to, it's going to be very difficult for them to out-football France. Simple as. If it turns into who is better with the ball, France will likely be better with the ball. So I'll be very curious to see how he prepares them for this. Because logic says you need to change this. We saw a little bit in the last round where they played more on the counter. But you can't just change a team's DNA like this.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think it'll be a fascinating game to watch.
Norway versus England is on Saturday, Jules. What are your vibes telling you?
I think it's a great quarterfinal. I do wonder if Norway maybe had played their game, the big game for them against Brazil and that big performance. And if they will run out a little bit of steam and maybe not focus, but sometimes when you beat a massive team like they did with Brazil, the following game you're not at the same level, or maybe they would feel they have nothing to lose and they will go after England with what they have, which is, you know, Nyland in goal has been outstanding, and Erling Haaland obviously up front with a bit of Martin Odegaard magic in midfield. On paper, England are better. I think England would qualify. I think the win in Mexico for England was one of the biggest wins in their history, and that psychologically will help them massively for this game against Norway. But I think they will have also to be a bit cautious with what Norway can offer.
And the only living Sorloth in captivity won't start, you think?
I would not start him. I don't really care what they do, but I would not start him. Certainly not as right wing, as a right winger. It's crazy.
I'll say this about England. I don't think they've actually played consistently well since the Croatia game. But in some ways, the gutsy win against Mexico is more important, because we've seen England in the past. I don't want to say they bottled it, but rarely were they psychologically the better team. It's like they either outplayed the opposition, but if it came down to one of those gutsy, messy games, England, against decent opposition, of course, usually lose. And the fact that they know that they have this kind of uglier, tougher, fighting dimension, I think is going to stand them in good stead.
Yeah, we waited on this in our World Cup blog on the website. 6 of the 8 quarterfinalists are European. Any deep conclusions you like to draw?
Well, first of all, I don't like deep, broad conclusions over knockout competitions. It's 6 of the 8, but let's not forget, 4 of the 6 games were very close. France-Paraguay was not close in terms of the football, but it was close in terms of the scoreline. Switzerland beat Colombia on penalties. Who am I forgetting here? That was the
Mexico, England.
Mexico, England. I mean, that was absolutely absurd. That could have easily gone the other way.
And Brazil, Norway.
And Brazil, Norway. The guy Bruno Guimaraes sinks his penalty. Nyland doesn't make those saves. And then what changes? Well, are broad conclusions? We know European teams on the main tend to be better because they have more resources, because most of their players play in tougher leagues. That's just kind of the way of football. That's the way it's been. It's not a surprise. It was what, 5 in the last World Cup?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you've got, I think, 7 European teams in the FIFA top 10 rankings, for example. I think you've got 12 out of 15. I think if you look at the Ballon d'Or rankings, the top 3 were all Europeans, and I think, again, you had 7 in the top 10. So I think they're dominating right now, and you're right. Some were really close. It could have been slightly different, but it's not. And it's not, again, for the reason why they're the richest, they're the strongest.
Yeah, we can't have these knee-jerk reactions every time one team more, one team less. We have to look at, I think, broader, longer trends.